Greetings! Welcome into another episode of the Ancestors Speak. So today I'm going to be sharing messages from your elevated and honorable ancestors about what your enemies are up to. I'll be looking at what their plans and plots are at this time so that you'll have an idea of how to avoid their traps, okay? So the first thing I was picking up was that you know when spiritual attacks have been heightened or ramped up against you, when you find there's like an increase of trouble and discord in your life. So things are going along smoothly and all of a sudden there is an increase in illness, right? You might be dealing with multiple ailments or multiple people in your home may get sick all of a sudden at the same time. There's an increase in confusion and depression. Okay, there may also be like arguments between you and your spouse, arguments between you and your children. It's like all of a sudden the energy of war and fight enters your home. When these things happen, and even nightmares, y'all, when these things start to happen, that's when it's time for you to really increase your spiritual work, up your spiritual hygiene, do your spiritual baths, cleanse your home, say your prayers, work with your ancestors consistently. These are the things that need to happen to ensure that whatever your enemies have planned for you, that those plans won't succeed, okay? So let's look at what your ancestors want you to know about what plans, plots, and ploys your enemies have directed at you at this time. So this is very interesting. On the back of one of these cards, there is a witch sitting at her cauldron. Okay, so I see that for some of you, there is someone working, like attempting to work dark magic in your life, to send dark magic to you. Your ancestors are here to let you know that they are your greatest support and your greatest protection in times like this, okay? So it's important that you really work with them and connect with them when you feel, well, all the time, but particularly when you feel these things happening, okay? For some of you, your enemies are using the energy of confusion, and this is so interesting. Hearing the word discombobulated, like you'll feel so off mentally. There'll be this inability to focus and to do the things that you need to do. For some of you, that witch energy I was seeing, that energy wants you to focus on a loss or something that you've left behind or that you feel like you've lost in the past. All right. So say you came out of a relationship and there's still a little rawness there. This enemy like will bring this to your awareness so that you get stuck in like grief and sorrow, disappointment and things like that. Yeah, like I was saying with this snake card here, there's also something where someone wants to break you and someone else up. So of course this could be like if you're married, if you're in a relationship, but it's not just love relationships. Like they want to see you separated from your destined partners in this time and space. There's like a real wickedness here because they know that that separation breaks you and the other person, and they want you to be broken down. So be careful of enmity and discord. Like I was saying, like that energy of fight, like all of a sudden there's a lot of fight in the home. There's a lot going on between you and someone else that wasn't there before, or you're noticing that the closer you get to someone, the more fights you and someone you love starts to have. Be careful of those things, okay? For others of you, there is an attempt at attacking your finances. Some of your enemies are going to use debt to derail you, right? Like they want you to go into debt and be really messed up financially, so that, again, you can be in this grief and sorrow energy. You can be like really messed up mentally and emotionally. Yeah, there's a big attack on relationships, on contracts, on anything that you're committed to and devoted to. It's like, let's bring trouble to that area so this person loses this thing that is so important to them, so that they lose this relationship, so that they lose their business. You know, something that's important to you, your enemies want to attack it. Someone here and your spouse particularly needs to be careful of an enemy that comes in the form of an adulterer. So there's someone who might be tempting you or your partner, and y'all don't know that this temptation comes with more than just like the potential for a little bit of pleasure. It's actually put in your path to break you and your spouse up. Yeah, definitely. That's a big one, y'all. So there's an enemy right now that's focusing energy on relationships to disrupt them, to throw them off, and to break them up. I didn't expect to see that. You have to be very careful. Very, very careful at this time, because something can absolutely derail a relationship you're in that's so important to you. And then you end up separating, going your own way, and it causes like a really big heartbreak. There's someone here where your enemy is focusing on bringing some type of misinformation to you, kind of like scattering information. Could be like the messages you receive, the messages you send out, things not coming through as clearly as they can, or when you speak, people not receiving that as clearly. Yeah, your ancestors are really protective of you at this time. Like, preserve what's important to you. Really protect your foundation, protect your home, protect your family life. There's even like this focus where it needs to be a focus on your children as well. Someone here, you have an enemy that wants to distract you and upset you so much in your life that you're not paying attention to your children. Like, they want you to let your guard down when it comes to your child or your children. So there's a need to really be on point with that. For some of you, your ancestors warning you that there's going to be a false prophet, or someone that comes off like they're very intelligent, very trustworthy. You'll go to follow them and it will be the absolute wrong person to follow. This person can lead you right to some type of war, death, trickery, something like that. Yeah, confusion is a big one. There's also this energy of deflection, or your enemy wanting you to look one way or look at one thing, focus on one thing, while they screw with another area of your life, right? Or mess something else up. Honestly, I'm getting this on a larger scale. This feels like something in the government for me, where it's like, hey, look over here, everybody pay attention to this. And then on the other side, there's something going on that we really should be paying attention to. For some of you, this energy that the enemies is sending is like a frenzied energy, scattered, too much going on. When you feel yourself getting too scattered, make sure to ground your energy. We have an ancestor in this card in the African American Tarot hiding behind a tree or standing behind a tree. I suggest like going and sitting by a tree if you're feeling too scattered. Going outside in nature, of course, near a body of water would be helpful. For some of you, this enemy wants to bully you and might try to find a way to bully you without you knowing it's them. So that could be like some type of online bullying, you know, people in the comments, trolling and things like that. So be mindful of that. Yeah, and they're hoping that what they do, this could be some type of harassment. They're hoping that what they do, what they say, maybe they'll try to get a group to come against you. Whatever it is, they want you to feel defeated. And your ancestors are saying they don't want you to feel defeated. See yourself as powerful. For someone here, doubt and confusion is a big one. Your enemies know that they can send doubt and confusion your way, and it'll really fuck with you. Pay attention to the visions you're going to be having, because I do see that your ancestors will be absolutely giving you messages about what's to come. You are already steps ahead of your enemies. They can't trick you. They can't trap you. You see them coming, right? It's like you have that foresight. You have that vision. Some of you, your clairvoyant abilities, your ability to see spiritual visions is going to give you a heads up that something is not right. For others of you, you're being encouraged to light a candle. I always like black candles for banishing of negative energy. Always remember to clean your candles first with Florida water or, you know, sage or whatever you use for cleansing. Say a prayer you can write on the glass or carve, you know, whatever you want into the candle, but focus on banishing. You know, there's an ancestor here who's revealing that a big tool that the enemies use to derail people is to really convince them to go off their path or bring so much trouble that they get so distracted from their life's purpose and path. Like some of you have a great purpose here, something that you're supposed to be doing, but there's like this enemy that sends energy to distract you from this purpose. For some of you, this is so interesting, y'all. Okay. So with the chakra cards, all of a sudden, I started getting multiple green cards, and all of the green cards represent the heart chakra. So the story I'm getting here that I'm seeing from your ancestors is that an enemy uses deception and trickery. Now, this is interesting because it feels like this is, say, a person that knows how to send entities. These entities go and they gather, they round up people that they can use. They'll bring those people to you so that they can betray you, trick you, misuse and abuse you. And if you haven't done like a lot of heart chakra healing, you may be particularly vulnerable to this, and you may let people in that don't deserve your time and attention. These people end up doing things that are foul, that are hurtful and harmful to you. You end up taking that into your heart space, and now you're carrying grief and sorrow. This grief and sorrow can be triggered at any moment, can keep coming up and things like that. So that, again, there's a derailment. Now you're off your path. You have to guard your heart. And I don't mean that in being overly protective or overly guarded to the point where you're not allowing yourself to have experiences, but there needs to be more discernment in who you allow to get close to you. Because for someone, this has been a cycle in your life where people have been used to trick you, to deceive you, to, you know, break your heart, misuse and abuse you, so that you would have this energy now lodged in your heart chakra. And that enemy uses that energy that's lodged in your heart chakra to take you off track, to defeat you. It's kind of like they have a remote control where they can trigger you at any moment. So for you, you have to be, the people this resonates for, you have to be particularly careful and discerning of who you let into your life, because you have a great calling. And if you keep going down this path and letting these people in, it derails your calling, and the world loses out, misses out. For some of you, your enemies use your impatience against you. They use your impulsivity against you. You move too fast. You want everything now. You want to do it now. You want to move forward. You don't want to think things through. They use this to defeat you. It's kind of like they'll see your weaknesses and try to use them against you, okay? For some of you, one of the ways that you can overcome this is just to stop sometimes and take a breath. And again, we got this energy around going out and being in nature. Your ancestors commune with you when you're out in nature, just being and relaxing, okay? Let's see what are some more tricks that your ancestors are alerting you to. Be careful of the drinks you accept from others, y'all. There's something about drinking, maybe even drinking too much. So for some of you, your ancestors are warning you that an enemy knows that you like to drink and would use that against you. Be careful of someone putting things in your drink, guys, okay? Something about lying. Your enemies, there's something about lying. This could be you lying to yourself. You know, your enemies want you to be delusional so that they can easily attack you. Or there's an enemy in your life now who's lying to you. Your ancestors are telling me they've alerted you to who this is already. And it makes you really sad because you thought they were someone who's loyal and you're finding out they're not. This person is full of toxic energy. Yeah, some of you are just being sent waves of negative energy. And so in that case, it's very important that you come up with some type of ritual that you can perform to spiritually and psychically protect yourself. You have a joker. You have someone who smiles and pretends to be friendly and fun and happy-go-lucky, and they're really a trickster. They're a joker. They're not real. There's nothing real about them. Make sure you're doing things to protect your energy, okay? Fire, I'm getting fire. Someone's enemy wants to send them fire. So really pay attention to your home. Be careful when you're cooking. Be careful of leaving things on when you're not home. Be careful with candles. You know, if you're going to light a candle, make sure it's somewhere where it's safe and is not going to catch anything on fire. Yeah, y'all, this keeps coming up. Divorce is here now. So for some of you, and this is interesting because I'm getting this is even for people who are not yet married. Like there's already an enemy planning for those of you who are going to get married in the future. They're already like, we can't have these people together. These two together, you know, they're too powerful. We don't like it. Yeah, sickness and death, definitely. That's always on the table, y'all. Always trying to send sickness. Really learn ways to reflect that energy back to the sender, boomerang it back to the sender. Find the ways that the cleansing, protective rituals that work for you. You got the cleanse and protect your family. So for some of you, this is your entire family unit. But I told you that earlier, right? There's an enemy that wants you to drop your guard so that they can impact your children in some way. For others of you, there's chaos. They send, again, this very chaotic energy to you, to your home. For some of you, you have someone around you. You might be like psychically and spiritually strong and emotionally strong, but you have someone around you who's not, and they actually use that person as a means to attack you. It's so easy to trigger that person. It's so easy to anger them. It's so easy to plant the seed in them to fuck with you, you know? And they absolutely do that. For some of you women, your enemies have sent an attack to your womb. They want your womb space closed up. They don't want you to be able to bring forth a life. And some of you could bring forth a very powerful child. And that's been known. And there's been a constant attack since you were a child to bind your womb. Your ancestors want you to know that's okay. You know, just like there's stuff working against you, you have energies that work with you. For some of you, the big one is depression and sadness, and there's a need to release any energy that's stuck within your being that they could use to derail you. You have a lot of like pain that you haven't worked through, a lot of trauma you haven't worked through. These energies use that. They use it, like I said, that remote control, right? How can we trigger this person's pain so that they can be sad today? Now, if the thing you don't see is if you weren't sad, you would be doing something, you know, maybe you would create something that could help a lot of people. Maybe you could do something where it'll really lift your spirits and you would have like a new sense of self or see things clearly. They want to keep like these clouds of sadness around you, these enemies. They know a little bit too much about you, I'm seeing too. Be careful of who you tell your business. That keeps coming up from one of my decks too. Don't tell your business to people because they be using it against you. For some of you, they want to cause a loss. You know, and we saw that earlier, loss of relationship. But again, this could be property, anything that means something to you. They want to see it lost. But keep up your spiritual hygiene, right? Look into ways you can support your spiritual protection, whether that be through spiritual baths, crystals, prayers, chants, mantras, meditation, visualization, speaking to nature spirits. There are many things you can do to protect yourself. Last couple of cards about the attacks that enemies are sending. Oh my God, I just mentioned this card. Be secretive about your plans. Do not talk about things prematurely. That comes from my Odu Ifa Wisdom Oracle deck. And I feel like we've been getting that message so much because it's super important, right? Like sometimes our enemies know so much about us that they can use our own weaknesses and struggles against us. And that's like the biggest thing I'm taking from this reading today. So be mindful of what you share. Everyone doesn't need to know everything. For some of you, sometimes the issue is that you do not speak up. Like your enemies use the fact that you won't speak up about certain things, right? Like, again, holding pain in. Somebody offends you, you kind of have like this people-pleasing, turn the other cheek energy, but then you'll hold it inside of you. It can be triggered, and now you're thrown off, right? So there's something about speaking, sharing what you need to share to get things off your chest. For some of you, this is therapy, right? Doing some type of therapy, something to release stuck energy so that your enemies cannot use it against you. Use it against you in a court of law. Again, not running towards things. Because when you rush towards things, your enemies can use that to disrupt and derail you. Yeah, y'all, be on the lookout right now. There's a lot of chaotic, tricky energy in the air. Last messages. Your ancestors say follow your intuition. They are communing with you and letting you know what's not right, and what works for you, what doesn't work for you, who's good for you, who's not good for you. Pay attention to those things because they absolutely can save your life in the days to come. Thank you for joining me. If this reading resonated, drop an ashe in the comments, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.